Welcome to High Frequency Talks with Jenna and Lily.
I'm Jenna.
And I'm Lily. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. We are so excited to be here with you guys and for all of our listeners out there, whether it be your first time listening or you've already listened to a few episodes and now you've come back to start from the beginning. We thank you so much. We're just so grateful for each and every one of you. We just wanted to actually share with you guys that this is our probably fourth time recording this.
Yeah, funny story, guys. Actually, we've tried recording this many times. The first time we recorded it, it went perfectly and we got it recorded. But then once we started doing some editing, like putting in our intro and outro and all that stuff, things started getting a little complicated. So we just wanted to remind you that no matter what you're doing, like if you're starting a new project, starting something new in your life and it's not working in the beginning, you have to keep trying, like definitely like hard work, like whatever is worthwhile, it's gonna come with hard work, and you just have to keep going no matter what.
Yeah, absolutely. And just holding yourself accountable. I know that it's been super hard to, at least for me personally, I don't know about you, Jenna, but you get into these moods where you're super pumped and you're excited and you're motivated and you're inspired. And then, life happens and then you get tired. And so you don't want to do anything. But it's, you have to hold yourself accountable. You have to hold your friends accountable if you are working with someone. But we're here now and we're just super excited. And we just want to say thank you to everyone. We are really grateful for all of you. And yeah, we are just here to kind of introduce you guys to what our podcast is going to be about, talk a little bit about who we are, and just kind of inspire you guys because we're really excited. We came up with this idea, I think it was October of 2018, right, Jenna? I think that was when you texted me about this.
Yeah, so I was on a plane. I think I was going to Mexico, either to or from Mexico. And I just had this idea. Well, I was listening to podcasts because I always download podcasts for my flights. I used to always listen to music, and I still do that sometimes, but I just found that, like, listening to podcasts when I'm driving or on planes is, like, a great way to catch up on things and just get ideas and insight. And so I had this idea. It was like, well, what if we started a podcast? That would be pretty cool. So I texted Lily and she was like, yeah, I would love to start a podcast. And then I was living in Santa Cruz at the time still, so we were kind of just like talking back and forth over FaceTime, trying to figure all the logistics out and everything. And here we are. It's now July.
July 2019. So, like I said, nothing's going to happen overnight. Everything, takes hard work, takes dedication, and really takes accountability of yourself and you just holding yourself up to a standard that you are going to achieve something. And whether, like Jenna said, whether it be a new project or starting a business or even going back to school, whatever it may be, just whatever's happening in your life, if it's something that you're not happy with and you want to start something new, it's not going to be easy, but it's a lot easier going out and living your life for yourself than being stuck at a job that you don't like or being stuck with people that you don't like that you surround yourself with. We just want to inspire you guys and motivate you, and we're here to inspire ourselves in hopes that we inspire you guys as well. Jenna, do you want to kind of go over a little bit of what people are going to hear in our podcast?
So we are re-recording the first episode because of technical difficulties, so we have already started some of our interviews and everything, so we have more of an idea now. But our whole idea for this podcast was doing interview style, and we just know so many different people with great knowledge, and we want to be able to share that with you guys. So we have done all of the podcast interview style besides the ones that Lily and I do together, and we just kind of talk and rant.
Yeah.
Basically, it's gonna be all about health, holistic type lifestyles, and we might add in some Western medicine here and there, but it's mostly a health podcast. So we want to interview people like yoga teachers, psychics, Reiki healers.
Like health and wealth, more of like
wellness,
all around health. So
yeah, manifestation.
Thinking about like financially, mental health. Mental health is so important, just
Yeah.
because of just the way that our society is now, and we are the society. I say a lot the way society is, like it's a third person, but it's us, it's me, it's you listening, it's all of us. So mental health, financial health, fitness health, the way that you're eating, any type of lifestyle that is connected to just being a human, being a human being
Yeah,
in
definitely.
in
I
this
mean,
world.
we might even throw in some interviews on just like sustainability, and we're super passionate about the environment, and just we just want to bring value to you guys, and just we have there's so many different perspectives that these people are gonna have, and we just hope that you can be open minded and just maybe one of the perspectives will resonate with you, and yeah, that's mainly our goal.
Yeah, just really having you guys keep an open mind, and it's not just anyone listening, it's Jenna and myself as well. You know, we're going to have conversations that may challenge our beliefs or may challenge our lifestyles, and that's okay. That's the whole point of, coexisting with each other, is being okay with someone else having a different lifestyle than you, being okay with having someone having a different opinion with you, and not just spitting hate at each other, because that's not what it's supposed to be about. That's not why we're put on this earth. We're here to just love and express love, and just kind of just have conversations with people and learn from each other, and hopefully teach you guys something. Or, if you guys ever want to reach out and have a conversation, or, have any suggestions to what you want to hear about on our podcast, we're more than happy to take suggestions. I know we'll be putting up all of our contact info in our show notes, so you can reach out to us, our Instagram, stuff like that. But yeah, just to kind of share a little bit about each other, Jenna, I'm going to ask you a few questions. We honestly, we didn't even plan this, because
I
we've...
just want to say really quick though, before, is we're not making any medical claims or anything. We just want to share value and knowledge, and we just want you to know that we're not doctors, we're not nutritionists. We're just sharing our knowledge and other people's knowledge with you guys.
Yeah, I think that's super important.
Yeah.
Thank you for saying that, because we're definitely not doctors. We're not in any way.
Maybe someday.
One day we'll be doctors. One day I'll get my PhD. It'll be a different kind of doctor, but we just want to make sure that we clarify that. So thanks, Jenna.
Okay, go
So
ahead.
yeah. So yeah, Jenna, why don't you just tell me a little bit about yourself, something that you want others to know, like how old are you? What do you like to do for fun? What's your lifestyle like? Just so that people can get to know you a little bit.
Okay. So I am 24 years old. I'm originally from Santa Cruz, California, which is in Northern California near San Francisco. And I went to school down in San Diego, in northern San Diego, and so I lived there for about four years, and then I lived in Orange County for a little bit in a town called Dana Point, and then I actually moved back to Santa Cruz and traveled for a really long time, well, like a year. So yeah, I was kind of back and forth a lot, and then I recently just moved back down to San Diego a few months ago. And San Diego's always kind of felt like home to me. And even though I like to travel a lot, I always seem to find my way back here. I just love, like, you're just close to everything. You're close to Mexico, you're close to LA, you can drive anywhere. You can fly pretty much anywhere in the world from LAX, which I love because I love to travel. That's actually how Lily and I met each other.
Yeah.
Is doing a study abroad trip in Malta, which is a little...
It's an island.
Island.
A country island.
Off of Italy, the coast of Italy.
It's south of Italy.
Yeah. Lily knows the directions better than I do.
So, and we can get into more detail after we go over a few things, but...
Introduce yourself.
I know. My name's Lily. Hi, guys. Hi, party people. I am 27 years old. I am currently a preschool teacher and doing this podcast, doing some other projects with some friends, and just trying to live my best life, because as corny and dumb as this sounds, and I know people are going to be out there rolling their eyes, you literally are not promised tomorrow. So don't live your life for other people. Don't make decisions for other people. Stop asking other people's opinion, even if it's like coming down to your clothes. Like, you wear whatever makes you feel comfortable, and that's all that matters. Live your life for you, and that's what I try to live by. And I'm not perfect. People are like, oh, you're so positive all the time. yeah, I try to be, but I'm also a human. I have bad days, I have good days, I have grumpy days, moments, you know. I'm sure my fiance can attest to that one. He's very patient with me. I am in a relationship. I am engaged with my man who we should be getting married probably next year. So I'm sure we'll be updating you guys on that once we kind of get a roll on this. Um, but yeah, I pretty much just go with the flow. I love going to the beach, and I know Jen and I both share a passion for food and
Hmm.
living that plant based life and just really loving and taking care of animals. We have Kona, who is Jenna's dog, and super, super adorable. And yeah, I think I don't know, is there anything else that you think I should share about myself? I love traveling as well.
Yeah,
Um,
I guess that's mainly the thing I shared. I didn't really share much about what I do because I do so many different things and I'm still trying to put all of that together. So
And that's
stay along for the
okay.
journey.
Yeah, it's okay to change your mind about things. Don't feel like you have to follow a timeline in your life. There's no such thing as, at least in my opinion, I don't think that there should be a thing such as like you go to high school, you go to college, you get married, you have kids, and then you get stuck in a 9 to 5. I don't think that that's reasonable.
Nah,
I
that's
think
not.
that's totally
Yeah.
against what we believe. And sometimes, you do have to go through that lifestyle of working a 9 to 5 because you have to do what you
Mhm.
have to do. You have to survive. I know I have plenty of bills, and girls got to eat. I eat a lot. So, you got to do what you got to do. But I'm just saying, if you're not happy with your life, you have that power to change it. Um,
Mhm.
but on a different note, Jen and I actually met when we were traveling in Malta, like she said before. That's an island down south of Italy, and we met because we were taking the same course abroad for our undergrad. So we went to the same university, and we met through that trip. And so through that trip, lots of crazy things happen. I don't know if crazy is the right word. Lots
I would say
of
that's a good word for it.
just wild things that I think really brought us closer to each other. And I think when you're traveling, it's already really hard to travel. I think Instagram and social media creates this image that traveling is all glitz and glam and is all great and dandy, rainbows and whatever you want to say. It's all
Mhm.
great, but it's not actually, because you're really out of your comfort zone when you're traveling, and you really get to know the people that you're traveling with, because you get to know each other in all different kinds of moods. You get to know each other when you're waking up, when you're going to bed, when you're tired, when you're hot and sweaty, when you're like almost passing out. I know there was a few times where I got so dehydrated, I almost passed out, and
Very hot there.
Jenna saw that and she took care of me. Shout out to Jess and all of the girls that were on that trip who actually put in the time to like make sure that I was okay.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, traveling is just it's not always going to be pretty. And I think that's what brought Jen and I closer to each other, because that was our first thing that we did as hanging out as friends. We
Yeah, yeah.
traveled.
I mean, I definitely think, yeah, that just automatically is gonna make you closer, like when you travel with someone, because you're out of your comfort zone, and I mean, like Lily was saying, like traveling is so glamorized by Instagram and social media and all of that, and I think that it's easy to look at these pictures and think like, oh wow, I really want to do that, and but you just have to know that like going into it, it's like it's not going to be perfect.
Hmm.
Like I mean, it's just like your everyday life is not perfect, but you're also like in your comfort zone when you know where you live and everything. And traveling makes you so adaptable. Like I love San Diego, but I feel like I wouldn't have a problem really moving anywhere
Hmm.
because maybe not anywhere. If it was like the snow, I might not make it, but
Jen is not a fan of the
um,
cold. I love the cold.
but I mean, I'm very adaptable now just from traveling, unless it's snowing. That's the exception. But yeah, I mean, I just think that traveling, it brings out the best in you, brings out the worst in you. So
Hmm.
you just get the best of both worlds, and you just learn so much about each other. And yeah, I mean, I love it because it just, you get to experience different cultures, and like you're not going to do things exactly like you do them back home. You need to change it a little bit. Like I get really upset when I'm hungry or when I'm cold, and I feel like traveling has taught me to just not be so upset when I'm hungry, and like sometimes people get upset when they're hungry. Like, am I the
Hangry. I
only
think
person?
no, you're not the only person. You get hangry, and that's okay. I think we all get hangry out there. And I think what you're
Yeah.
trying to say is it's taught you patience. It's taught
Oh
you to be
yeah. I would say so. I used to not really be that patient of a person, and it definitely did. I mean, even like yesterday, Jess and I were getting sushi in Mission Beach, which is in San Diego, and I hadn't ate like all day, and I was waiting for my car to be done in the shop, and I was just like, okay, it's gonna be okay. I'm gonna wait.
take a
Walk
deep
home.
breath, stay
Yeah.
in the moment.
Got to the place, like the waitress came up and she was like, "Oh, would you like an appetizer?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm actually starving. Like, can I order this?" And Jessica had texted me her order
Yeah.
from her Uber.
Oh
and had
my
me order
gosh.
it, so it was on the table. But yeah, I mean, I just like normally.
So
I
you're
don't
like
know.
you're incorporating things that you're learning through traveling in your daily life.
Yeah,
That sounds-
exactly.
yeah, that's what it sounds
just getting
like.
used to it and just being patient. And I was like, it's gonna be okay. I need to wait for my car to be done, and then I'm gonna be able to eat. And it's like, we're plant based, and we have a lot of us have food allergies that we travel with. Like I do, and Jessica does, and we're all vegan, and so that so you don't always find what you're looking for right away. And so this is just an example that can be used like in any avenue. Really, it's like being patient. Like, you're not going to find exactly what you're looking for no matter what diet you're on. Like, if you're used to eating pizza all the time, like, they might not have that in Bali.
Yeah.
So I think that's important, because we have to be patient, because we're like, if we Jessica and I went through Puerto Rico, like, and
By the way,
basically
Jessica is one of our
starved.
friends.
Yeah.
So, I think Jenna just wants to share, like, just the struggle. Like, the struggle
Yeah,
is real when
yeah.
it comes to traveling.
Definitely.
And I know when you and I traveled together, we were with our friend Jessica at the time, and some other
When we were
friends.
in Malta.
When we were in Malta.
Yeah.
And I think the reason why that brought us all so close together is because a lot of spiritual things happened.
Yeah.
We were on an itinerary that we were necessarily fond of because we were taking that class for a few weeks.
Strict schedule.
Yeah, so we were on a strict schedule, and a lot of it, I think, did happen for a reason. We were out there, and we were required to go to the catacombs that were in Malta.
Oh, yeah.
And just, I didn't really realize what catacombs were, I guess.
Yeah, I don't think I did either. I don't think any of us really knew. It was just kind of like, what was it, like an excursion or something?
Yeah,
like
the
extra...
way that they described it was an excursion. We're going to this museum,
Oh, yeah.
whatever, right? They gave us all these details. I guess we must have just not paid attention. So we went down in the catacombs, and I immediately just felt all of the energies that were down there from past lives. And it's our first episode, so I know this might sound crazy, but these are just the things that we have experienced and we believe in. And if it doesn't resonate with you, that's okay. Just keep an open mind. And I'm not going to go into full detail because I think this needs to be like an actual episode, like a full episode on just this.
Depth, like,
But I definitely felt the energies, and it was something where I felt like it wasn't me that was experiencing this. And so I think for me, it's really hard to talk about it just because it's such a vulnerable place that I had never been in before that. And I think that I'm really grateful for that experience, just because not only did it bring me closer to Jenna, Jenna was so helpful in that situation, and I think that another reason why it was such a good thing that happened, looking back now, is that I was able to open up a door that I didn't think that I ever was going to with my spirituality. Not necessarily religion, because I think that there is a difference between religion and spirituality, but with my spirituality and my getting to know me, my powers, and like my gifts that I have been given for this lifetime. I do believe in multiple lifetimes. I think that this lifetime I was given this treasure and this gift, and I didn't really open the door to that until this experience in Malta. So I think that that's something I definitely want to share with you guys on a different episode, more entailed, just kind of like the energies and the experience that we felt there. But Just getting back on track to what we were saying was, I think that's what brought us closer was those
Yeah, just like those
experiences.
experiences, and you just like develop patience and stuff. So, yeah, like I feel like we have like really close friends now from traveling, because you just connect with people deeper when you travel with them. And yeah, that our experience in Malta was, there was a lot of different things that happened, and there's just a lot of history there. So I think when you go to countries that are really older, you know, like places, a lot of places
Yeah,
in Europe
lots
have
of spirits
so much
everywhere.
history everywhere, and yeah, so it was pretty exhausting.
Yeah,
But,
pretty
yeah,
exhausting mentally, physically, emotionally. There was
yeah,
just lots of tears that shed. They were good, some were bad, some were just missing home, just being out of our comfort zone,
exactly.
walking by restaurants that had rabbit as their lunch special, just
Yeah, we
totally
were
out
like,
of
okay, yeah, what do we eat? So yeah, patience, yeah.
yeah, patience is a virtue, you guys. And, I think that just kind of connecting back to, it seems like our theme right now is traveling, just connecting to that, I think that we need to just be grateful and not complain about the lifestyle that we live now. It's so easy to be complaining about little things like we're stuck in traffic, or, something didn't go our way, or our food's taking too long, whatever it may be. Those are just such minimal things that you're not going to worry. You're not going to like worry about that in a year from now, 2 months from now, even an hour from now, whatever it may be. So just be grateful for what you have, and if you haven't traveled, go out and do something and travel, and put that as a goal on your list. I think that it's super important to experience the other cultures. Um but yeah, I just think that just overall traveling is so important for everyone to
Yeah,
experience, even if it's not in a different country. If you're just gonna go and
close by, road trip.
yeah, like go on a road trip, go and experience something cool, and do something for you. Don't just go on a trip for Instagram so you can have cool pictures. That's not what it should be about. It should be about your experiences and the people that you get to meet.
Yeah, I totally agree. And yeah, just even things in everyday life, like, I think just overall, just like stepping out of my comfort zone, which was traveling, helped me so much. Because, like, I used to get really bad road rage, and I was just thinking the other day, now, like, I still do here and there, but not gonna lie. But like
But
when,
we're human, right? We're
yeah, yeah.
human.
But when this car, like when cars cut me off, now I'm just am like, okay, like maybe there's a reason that they did that, and I'm super into numerology,
Hmm.
especially recently, like in the last year or so, I've
It's
gotten really
everywhere.
into it,
Yeah.
and so I look at the license plate of a car, and I'm like, okay, maybe they're trying to send me a message, and that's why they cut me off. So that really helps me when I get upset that someone cut me off when I'm driving.
That seems to happen to you a lot. Do you think
They
it's
do cut me
who's
off a
who's the
lot.
problem here? I'm just
Hey,
kidding.
I do live downtown, like close to downtown San Diego now, and there's some
Yeah.
crazy drivers.
Yeah,
North
people
County is a different
people
world.
are savage out here.
Yeah.
But yeah, we basically, like we said, we just kind of wanted to introduce ourselves and say
Yeah.
hi and talk a little bit about ourselves. Jenna, what do you think is something that you want to share about? Like, do you want to share about your routine? What does your
Yeah,
morning
so
look like?
we'll just share a little bit, like, so you can get to know us a little more about our typical routine. So, um, I work so many different jobs that, like, my routine changes a lot, but typically I don't work ever very early in the morning. Like, the earliest I'll work is, like, 8. And so, in the morning, I'll get up and I always drink water first thing. So Lily and I both drink Kangen water, which we can talk about in a later episode what it is and what it does for your body and everything. But it's basically really hydrating. It actually hydrates your body at a cellular level. And so it gives me energy if I drink water in the morning. And so I try to drink like about a liter before I eat. And I also started doing this thing that I'm sure a lot of people have heard of called intermittent fasting. And so I'm a breakfast person, but it really helps me to not eat right when I wake up. So I'll drink the water and then I wait like at least 2 hours before I have my first meal. And I notice that just really helps me a lot. And then also, like, when I first wake up, I don't do this every single morning. I'm not perfect, but I strive to do this 30 minutes, no phone. Like, when I first wake up, like, yes, I set my alarm on it, so I turn off my alarm. but I don't look at my phone, like, at any messages, because I have my phone on, like, do not disturb, so they don't actually show up until I open my phone. And that really helps me so much with just, like, being more productive throughout my day. I feel like so instead of going on my phone first thing in the morning, I'll do some deep breathing or meditation, give myself Reiki. Reiki is like an energy healing type thing, which we can share more about in another episode. And do a little bit of yoga, or just like, sun salutations, something, stretching, just something besides being on your phone, because I feel like when you go on your phone first thing in the morning, it puts your mind into a reactive state, and you see something and it upsets you, say it upsets you, then everything you see throughout the day is going to trigger you more and more. I don't know, I kind of tried it with myself, and I noticed like how much more productive I was when I didn't use my phone first thing in the morning. So, I mean, that's usually my typical routine. I make myself a smoothie, and I use essential oils to wake myself up. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, that sounds, I feel like we kind of have kind of the same routine, same kind of goals, because it's definitely really hard sometimes when I have days where it's really hard to get out of bed, not because I'm not motivated, but because I'm just like, oh my gosh, my bed is so warm. I would rather just stay here. I mean, I'm sure everyone can relate to that, right? But yeah, I usually wake up. I try to wake up at least like 2.5 hours before I actually have to leave the house. So I'm usually up by like 6. Something that I actually had a conversation with someone the other day, before I get into the rest of my routine. They said, I don't know how you have so much time to make your smoothies in the morning and da da da. And I said, well, there's people that wake up 30 minutes before they have to go to work, and then there's people who wake up a few hours beforehand. And I usually try to wake up a few hours because then I don't feel like the only thing I'm doing is going to work. I can actually clean my kitchen, and I know that sounds weird. I actually enjoy leaving my house clean, and it's a pet peeve that I have. It's something that I've like worked on, not really worrying so much about making sure that everything is clean all the time, but I make sure that my kitchen is clean, my lunch is packed. Usually I'll pack the lunch before, like the night before, that way I don't have to worry about it in the morning. But I'll pack our lunches, my fiance and I's lunches, sometimes in the mornings. Definitely I go down, I drink my Kangen water. I do intermittent fasting as well. I actually don't eat until 1 o'clock now. Which I know, Jenna's face. I didn't think that was ever actually going to be possible, but, with cutting your time frame shorter with how long you're eating in the day, rather than going like a full 12 hours of eating, I cut it down to like maybe 8 or 9. That way my body can actually digest everything. And because I get off of work so late, I usually get off of work around like 6:15, 6:30. I'm not eating dinner anymore until about like 7:30, 7 o'clock. So for that to me is really important for me personally, for my body, and it's something that my body can handle. Once it hits 1:30, I can tell you my head starts hurting, I don't feel good. That's pushing it. 1 o'clock is really pushing it. It used to be 12, but that's just something that I have chosen to do. My fiance was actually the one that got me into it. He's the one that did all the research. I can tell you that I don't really know for sure all of the research, and there's things, different lifestyles out there. But based off of what he told me, it sounds like it's pretty legit. It might just be another fad thing, but I feel great. I'm not overeating anymore. But yeah, I usually don't eat until 1 o'clock. I'm usually drinking Kangen water all day long, especially in the morning time, just because it gets you going. I always leave my yoga mat downstairs. I leave it open right next to my fiance's, because we sometimes will stretch into yoga and meditate at night, but in the mornings is really when I stretch it all out and kind of just get my body moving and flowing. And with the phone thing, I think that I tend to look at my phone, but I don't look at social media in the morning, at least the first hour before I start actually getting up. Once I'm actually ready to go and hit the road, if I have time to post my smoothies or whatever it may be, repost whatever's on my feed, which is usually something motivational or inspirational, that's when I get on my phone. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I usually just try to make sure that I set my intentions for the day as well. Usually when I'm driving, I tell myself, my affirmations, I set my intentions for the day, I set my intentions for my driving time, and really just kind of get into that mindset of knowing what I want to get out of my drive, what I want to get out of my day, my conversations with people. Something that I've been practicing a lot lately is giving myself the affirmation of not getting involved in other people's gossip, because it's all around us all of the time, all of the time. And so I make sure that, when people are talking and they're talking about other people, I just ignore it. I let it go in one ear and out the other. I kind of just laugh to myself and I just move on with my life, because there's no need for that. There's no need for me to be a part of that. I don't get anything out of it. And really, I think it's just more of that negative pleasure that we get out of things like that. So, yeah, that's pretty much it for my routine in the mornings. I just really try to make sure I prep myself for the day.
Yeah, I mean, I do the same thing. I always make sure I prep all my food, like, the night before and just have that ready, and then I just make my breakfast in the morning. And, yeah, it's gonna change every day. Some nights, like, I eat dinner at, like, 5:30 p.m., and then I'm hungrier in the morning than I would be if I ate at, like, 8 p.m. So, I think it just depends. Like, I don't think, like, beating yourself up about something is good, like whatever works for your body works for your body, and it's going to be different every single day. Like sometimes I don't eat my first meal until noon, and sometimes I eat my first meal at 9, so it just really depends on everything.
Yeah, and I think also, I think it's a good thing that we don't stick to the same routine, because sometimes you get bored of the same routine, or it causes you not to be flexible with what you're doing. So I definitely want to hear about your guys' routines, and if you guys can leave a comment and share what your routines are, what's worked for you, what hasn't, kind of just, talking to each other. We want to build a community here and be able to provide this space for you guys to be positive, think positive, be grateful, and just accept that we're human and that we're not always going to be like that. So whatever works for you as far as your routine, let us know. Whatever doesn't work for you, let us know, just so we can kind of bounce off some ideas.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we would love to hear about everyone's routines, and I think we're going to start to wrap up the episode, but we just wanted to go over the question that we're going to ask everyone at the end of each episode that we do, so all the interviews. And that question is, what's one piece of advice you wish you could have given your younger self? And I think we should ask each other that question right now, too, and answer it. So, Lily, what's one piece of advice you wish you could have given your younger self?
Oh, that's a good question. It's, I feel like I answer this question differently every time. But I think for me personally, I wish I would have told myself that everything's always going to work out. Because once I got into that mindset, and I'm not saying I don't worry, but I stopped worrying as much as I used to. I used to overthink things all the time. Like, what if this doesn't work out? What if this doesn't work out? What if? It doesn't fucking matter, you guys. I'm sorry. But it's, once I got rid of that mindset of worrying, then that's when things actually started working out. Once I started saying, like, it's gonna work out. Yeah, this is, we're going through a hardship, or this sucks right now, but you know what? It's actually gonna work out. It's gonna be fine. Even when I don't fully feel it, I just tell myself, it's gonna be fine. Everything works out how it's supposed to. It's gonna work out. So I really wish that when I was younger, I told myself just not to worry so much, and just remind myself that it's gonna work out. So I think that's definitely something that I would tell my younger self if I had given the opportunity to go back and talk to my younger self. What about you, Jenna?
Very similar. I still worry about things all the time, but I'm definitely nowhere near how I used to be about everything, and I just think that I would tell myself, like, it's going to be okay, like, whatever you're meant to be doing, you're gonna do, and to stop, like, being so attached to outcomes, because I think, yeah, I mean, it's basically like what you said, but just, like, worrying that something is not going to go, like, I want it to go that way, but it's like, it doesn't really matter what I want, because whatever's meant for me is gonna come my way. And you don't have to worry, because whatever's meant for you is never gonna pass you by. Like, it's always going to work out. And so I think I just find comfort in just, like, seeing, like, signs that I just, like, am so in tune with everything now. And I look at numerology and just, like, little messages, things that sync up, and just, that's, like, where I find my comfort for everything's gonna work out and it's gonna be okay.
I love that. I love that. It's always going to work out, you guys. And if you're out there and you're downing yourself about something, look into that, because although everything always works out, sometimes the universe is taking you away from something because it's not really, it's there for a reason. It's not there for a reason. Whether that be a relationship, a friendship, a job, whatever it may be, So just kind of think about it. And that's just something that we wanted to share with you guys, that we're going to be asking all of our guests and, whoever's on our show. And we just want to make sure that we just create this space, like we said, the space that we can offer different perspectives and different information to everyone, to ourselves. And we just want to thank you so much for being here and for listening to us and all of our supporters. I know I have friends who have been really asking about when our first episode is coming out.
Yeah.
So here we are.
Here we are. It's finally here.
The fourth, fifth time, sixth time's a charm. We are not tech savvy at all, but that just goes to show you, if you just put your mindset and your heart in it, it always works out. So with that said, I just want to say thank you one more time, and I hope that you guys have a beautiful rest of your day or your night, wherever you are, and you just stay in the moment. Make sure that you are grateful, and just remind yourself that everything's always going to work out.
Thank you so much for listening, and we'll catch you in the next episode.
Bye, you guys.